Hi guys, it's Lyddie, and today I am going to be talking about my experiences and feelings about rereading Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. So I just finished this at work today and I just have so many thoughts, and I'm just going to say right now, as a reminder, I am assuming you have read the book and the entire series, but really especially this book, like as soon as you click on this video, because I am analyzing my in-depth thoughts of rereading it. So like this is very spoilery. I said at the beginning of the entire series, but I just wanted to make sure you know that because I'm not really going to be holding anything back. But before I start talking about Order of the Phoenix, I just wanted to say that I'm actually going to adjust slightly what I said I was going to do. Originally I said at the end of the Deathly Hallows video I'm going to talk about my overall changed opinions and stuff of the entire series, and I'm still going to talk about those opinions, but I'm going to actually make a 9th video to talk about those because these videos have all just been so long that I don't think that I can talk about all 7 books at the end of the Deathly Hallows one without that video being like a half an hour long, and I don't want that video to be that long. So now, Order of the Phoenix. I have my Goodreads review open so I don't miss anything. It took me 20 minutes to type this review today. So, as I said in my introductory video to the series, this is one of my favorite books in the series, and that is definitely still true. And, like, I kind of felt like I was reading this book for the first time as I reread it. There was a lot I forgot, and also it just is thrilling, and I just couldn't put it down. And I actually have had really bad headaches lately, so reading has been harder. So it took me about a week to read this, but I think if I had been feeling better, I probably would have read it in 2 days, because I just, as soon as I was like able to will myself to pick it up, like, and like get past the headache, I couldn't put it back down no matter how bad my headache got, because I was just so excited to dive back into the story. As you can maybe see, I'm wearing my Order of the Phoenix shirt because why not? But yeah, this book is just, it's so thrilling, and like right from the beginning, it's epic. Normally at the beginning of the Harry Potter books, before he's at Hogwarts, with the exception of the first one, I was a little bit bored. Like there are times I enjoy a little bit of him being out, but eventually I'm like, oh my gosh, can we please just get to Hogwarts? It took like, I think 250 pages for him to get to Hogwarts in this one, maybe even longer than that, I forget. It took quite a long time, a lot of pages for him to get to Hogwarts in this one, but I was not bored with those chapters. These are the best pre-Hogwarts chapters in the entire series, in my opinion. I mean, obviously, there isn't really, like, obviously the Deathly Hallows is like entirely pre-Hogwarts basically, except for like the very end. But what I mean, of the books he's actually going and spending the year at Hogwarts, this has the best pre-Hogwarts stuff. The moment with, like, or not the moment, like the scene with Dudley and the Dementors, I forgot how awesome that scene is, because like, it is not nearly as awesome in the movie, because in the movie it's just kind of like, okay, Dudley, Dementor, blah 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 blah, get through it. In the book, it's epic, and you can see Harry's good side, and which is great because it's like the only part of this book that Harry seems to be redeemable. I know everyone dislikes Harry in this book, but like this book is kind of why I generally don't like Harry as a character. I know I just said in the last 2 how much I was like, oh, Harry's so great and it's so nice to see how much I appreciate him more. Yeah. This book just ruins him. I know that everyone dislikes him in this book, and most people are like, but generally Harry's still great. And it's like, I don't dislike Harry really, but this book makes me want to. But back to the part, my positive stuff about Harry. Like, he really is determined to save Dudley in this scene, and it's great. And Mrs. Fig, is that her name? Is it Fig? Fig? Yeah, Fig. Mrs. Fig is so funny, and she's just like really, like, she's like, she's like really like determined to like get it done. She's like so mad at I'm not even trying to pronounce that guy's name. The one who was supposed to be guarding Harry. And she just, like, constantly is like, oh, curse him. And she's so mad, and she's also, like, apologetic to Harry for making his life miserable when he was at her house, because she didn't want the Dursleys to know that he enjoyed himself, so she didn't let him, but she wanted to look after him. I really like Mrs. Fig. I kind of forgot how great she was. So I really enjoyed rereading that. And I forgot that the Dursleys were going to kick out Harry. Like, I forgot about the Howler until, like, right before it happened. So, like, when there's that part, and, like, Harry's like, I'm gonna run away, no, I'm gonna stay. And Verdon's like, no, you have to go. And then Dumbledore sends the, Howler to Petunia. You go, Dumbledore. It's one of my favorite Dumbledore moments is when he sends the Howler to Petunia. Because it's just great. I love that he sends it, and I love that Petunia's like, okay, okay, okay. And she lets him come back, and I'm not gonna talk about this book in chronological order. I feel like I haven't really done that the entirety of this series, so we're gonna just keep with it. So I'm gonna stick with the Dursleys. So I'm gonna hop all the way to the end of the book. I totally forgot about the scene when Moody and Tonks and Remus and the Weasleys confront the Dursleys about how they treat Harry. Like, that was amazing. I was just sitting at work reading and chuckling. I'm like, I love this. I just love how Harry found, like, this magical extended family when he doesn't have a family in his actual family. Like, I just really appreciate that. I think it's great, and I really appreciated that whole scene. Everyone in the Order of the Phoenix is just awesome. I love the Order of the Phoenix. Like, the group, not just the book. Because the group is so amazing. Moving on, I'm just going to talk about characters, as I usually do. Surprisingly, in this book, I don't have a lot to say about Hermione and Ron. I have a little bit to say about them, but not a ton. I do continue to appreciate them more and more in this book. But, like, it wasn't as, like, strong of, like, an increase of appreciation. So I'm just gonna go through the highlights. Hermione is brilliant, and her brilliance is really, really highlighted in this book. I mean, the fact that she comes up with the idea for Dumbledore's army, and that she, like, as I've said in past videos, like, Hermione cares about getting the right thing done, and she wants to do it in the right way, but if it's not happening in the right way, she's gonna, like, go ahead and go through whatever means possible to get the right thing done. And that was what Dumbledore's army was for Hermione, and I really appreciated that. I thought that just really says so much about her character, and I really appreciate that. I think it's really cool. And also, I loved when Hermione just, like, would yell at Harry for, being a jerk. Harry, stop taking out all your anger on Ron and I. This is not okay. Like, that happened at least twice. I think it was 3 times, but it's at least twice for sure. And, like, every time it happened, I was like, yes, Hermione, good job. You tell him, because he's being a jerk, and, like, it's not okay, and it really bothers me. And I think that's why it bothers me so much when Harry's a jerk in this book, because, like, it's mostly projected on Ron and Hermione, who, as we've established, are 2 of my favorite characters. We'll get to why I said 2 of and not my 2 favorite, because there's kind of a 3-way tie that this book reminded me of. But yeah. Also, I loved how every time Hermione said Voldemort, she would interrupt herself to tell Ron to grow up. And then Voldemort, oh, Ron, stop crying. Like, it made my day every single time I read it. I just thought it was the funniest thing, and I also forgot about that. Like, I really appreciate Hermione's, like, willingness to, stand up to Voldemort in all these different ways. And even, like, in the little ways of saying his name when everyone around her is telling her not to. And she's also like, Ron, come on. Like, you care about this too. Like, it's a name. Like the Dumbledore quote, like, a fear of a name increases the fear of the thing itself. Which, does Hermione say that in the movie? Because I kind of feel like she says it in the movie, but I'm pretty sure it's a Dumbledore quote in the books. Someone confirm that for me if you know for sure. Because I associate it with both of them and I'm not sure why. But yeah, also, I definitely thought that Ron's maturity kind of peaks in this book. I'm already dreading the next one a little bit because I know that I can't stand Ron in the next one. Because the whole lavender thing. The whole lavender thing. But in this book, you just see Ron continue to want to stand up for Harry and Hermione and be there for them. He's such a good friend. And also, you see his protectiveness of Ginny so many times in this book. And like you see in like the overreacting ways when she gets boyfriends. But then you, as I was saying, I just really appreciate how Ron sticks up for Ginny, is protective of Ginny, and like both like the slightly overreactive big brother, you're dating someone, this isn't okay, and the like legitimate concern for like her doing things. And I just think it's really sweet. And I'm a person, I feel Ron and Ginny's relationship is not shown a lot in the books, but I'm really, really close with my older brother. So like my headcanon is that after Hogwarts, Ron and Ginny have like a really good friendship and like brother-sister relationship. Especially since, like, you know, Ginny ends up marrying Ron's best friend. So, like, I have this headcanon about it. And also, like, both of their, like, experience with Horcruxes, like, this, I'm going to talk about this more probably in my wrap-up video. But, like, I really appreciate the good Ron-Ginny moments, because I really appreciate seeing healthy sibling relationships in books. And, like, I know that they don't always have the healthiest of relationships, but, like, I think that overall Ron and Ginny are really high-quality siblings, and I really enjoy their good moments, and I really enjoyed that a lot in Order of the Phoenix. So, I think I'm just gonna move to Ginny, actually, since I'm already on the topic of Ginny. So, this is the first book that Ginny really gets the chance to shine. Like, we see a decent bit of Ginny in all of the previous books, except for the first one. Obviously, she plays a major role in the Chamber of Secrets. Prisoner of Azkaban, she's not there as much. In the last one, she definitely has, like, some bits of roles. But, like, this is the first one that, like, we really see Ginny, like, not really be a minor character. She's starting to become a major character. And I just really appreciate so many things about Ginny. First of all, I really appreciate seeing her get to play Quidditch in this book. I mean, we don't actually get to witness it, but just knowing that Ginny taught herself how to play Quidditch because her brothers wouldn't let her play with them, and that she ends up being the best of all of them, which obviously doesn't come out in this book, but like, I love that. I really, really appreciate that. Her optimism in this book, also, I forgot about that and I really liked it. I mean, my favorite Ginny quote is in this book. The one about, that when you grow up with friend George, you learn that anything's possible if you have enough nerve. I kind of forgot the context of that quote, so I appreciated seeing that quote within its context again. And also just, like, you know, with her talking to Harry and just being, like, I can't, when you get a Seeker again, I'm going to try out for Chaser. I have a lifetime ban. No, you have a ban until, as long as Umbridge is here. Like, it's also realism, but, like, it's really cool, and I really appreciate so much of Ginny. And she also, she isn't taking Harry's crap when it comes to Voldemort. When they are at Grimmauld Place, and he's talking about his dreams, and, or, well, he wasn't talking about it, he was avoiding everyone, and then they kind of, Ron, Hermione, and Ginny corner him, and they're talking about it, and she's just like, well, it's stupid for you not to talk to anyone because there's one of us who's been possessed by Voldemort. Like, her bluntness there is very necessary, and I really appreciate it. And, like, that's, like, the big moment of like, why I ship Ginny and, Harry. Wow, almost said the wrong name. Ginny and Harry. As a Voldemort connection. And I really appreciate that Ginny just doesn't take his crap and is like, okay, Harry, look, we need to talk about this. And she's just so driven to stop Voldemort. And you see that so much in this book, and it's like, it's because it's the right thing, but it's also personal to her, and I just think that's really important because it's how it is for Harry as well, and I just think that's why they make such a good couple. And I know that doesn't come out in this book because there's Cho, but like, I really appreciate that it's starting in this book, and you can see it starting so much in this book. I mean, I knew that Harry and Ginny were going to get together the first time I read it through, like when I read The Chamber of Secrets. But like, this is the book, it really is like, this is so happening. And I know not everyone saw that, but I did. I mean, I also read it when I was 21. So that is part of it. But like, it's just interesting. And yeah. So sticking on the topic of the Weasleys, I'm just going to talk about Fred and George for a bit. As I said in my last video, I really appreciated getting to know Fred and George as separate characters, and while they are very similar and they don't have a ton of differences, I definitely think that George is the more compassionate one, and like Fred is a bit more rambunctious. They're both rambunctious, but I feel like Fred's a bit more rambunctious, and George has a bit more of the emotional and like has probably a little bit more of a sense of justice. And I think, yeah, anyway. So I really appreciate seeing their distinctions more, and I also just appreciate how much they care for their family and Harry. You see that so much in this book. I know I said that in The Goblet of Fire too. I don't have much more to say about them. It's just that it continues to see more of how deeply they care about their family and Harry. I mean, Harry's basically family anyway. And that was just really enjoyable to see. And I also really appreciated their apparating all over the place in the beginning of the book. I thought that was hilarious, and I really appreciated it, and I'm really glad that I really like Fred and George Weasley now, because the first time through I just didn't have strong feelings about them, and I really appreciate just appreciating them, if that makes sense. So now I'm going to move on to Tonks. Tonks is one of the characters I was really... Where is it? I'm sorry. I'm looking through my Goodreads review to find... There it is. I was really interested to see how my opinions on Tonks would change. Because I know Tonks is a lot of people's favorite character, and I just did not connect with her the first time I read it. And I also didn't connect with her in the movies. Like, I was just like, okay, she's such a minor character. Why does she matter? She's so much less of a minor character than I remember her being. She's in this book a ton. And I loved her this time around. I'm so glad that I'm focusing on the minor characters more, because it's been really enjoyable. Tonks is great. I relate to Tonks a lot. She's so clumsy, and it's so funny. Like, her and Mrs. Weasley's interactions were funny, because Tonks just like wants to help, and then she also kind of messes everything up. I feel like that is me as a person, but she's clumsy, and she's like has trouble like interacting, but like she's portrayed as a strong woman who's an Auror and can do what she wants, and she is there to stop Voldemort, and that is so cool for me to see. I just really appreciate that, and I forgot about it. And as a fellow klutz, I just appreciate seeing klutzes being like shown the light of strength, because we may be klutzy, but we can still be strong women, and I really appreciate that. Next I'm going to talk about Luna. So Luna, the first time I read the books, I didn't connect with her that much either, but when I watched the movies, I really connected with her in the movies. So I was looking forward to focusing more on Luna as a character in the books. And I think that talking through these in this way is also helping me remember what I want to focus on when I'm rereading, because then I'm telling you guys what I'm looking forward to re-experiencing, and then I'm focusing on it more without even really having to think about it as I'm reading. And that's definitely that was the case for Tonks, that's the case for Fred and George, and that's also the case for Luna. So I love how eccentric Luna is. I love that she doesn't really care what other people think, and I love that she like just wants to seek the truth, and she wants to do what's right. That's what I like about like every character in this, I think. But like with Luna, it's just so beautiful. She's just so light and airy as a character, which is a weird character trait to have, but I love it. And I wish that I cared less about what people think about me. I think we all do. And I think we could all strive to be a little bit more like Luna. But like, do you see how she's so genuine and she's gentle with how she stands up for what's right? And I can really relate to that. Like, I'm not a blunt person. I'm not abrasive. I'm a fairly gentle person, but I have very, very strong convictions, which is why Luna's actually one of the characters I relate to most in Harry Potter, because like we have a gentle persona but with very strong convictions. So that was like really fun to re-experience and also really important to me. And I love that she's determined to do what's right even if she does it in unconventional ways, and I also love that she spent so much time trying to show Harry that he isn't crazy for seeing the Thestrals or the things that he hears, that like he's not alone, and like since everyone thought Luna was crazy, like it didn't help him at first, but eventually he realized like, oh, this is okay. And I really appreciated that. The way the other characters treat Luna, like the main characters, drives me crazy. Like, it makes me so annoyed. I hate when people call her loony. I really don't like it. So, there's this entire screen right now, and a little bit more, is filled with my thoughts on Neville in this book. I really love Neville. I've loved Neville since reading The Sorcerer's Stone over 2 years ago. He's been one of my favorite characters this whole time. He, Ron, and Hermione, they're such great characters, and I just care about them so deeply, which is so weird because they're fictional, but you get it. I'm pretty sure a lot of you get it if you're watching this video. He gets better with every single book, and he gets better with every reread, and he gets better with every movie. Like, Neville is such an interesting character because Neville is afraid of so much, and he isn't a character with obvious strengths, but Neville's an incredibly strong character. I talked about it in one of the previous ones about how Snape is his boggart, but he faces him every single day, and that's like the bravest thing you could ever do. So there's that aspect of him, and just seeing how determined he was in the DA, and that being because of his parents, and because Bellatrix, a Death Eater, made it so they don't really know what's going on or at all. Like, that is such an amazing thing. Like, he is so determined, and it's so important to him to stop Death Eaters, and it's like he has a sense of justice, and it's also like it is about revenge a little for him, but like not in a bad way, if you know what I mean. And like, he loves his parents so deeply, even though they really have never been able to give anything to him, and that is such a beautiful, beautiful thing, and that just makes him such a beautiful character. The scene in St. Mungo's, I almost typed that earlier too. The scene in St. Mungo's broke me all over again reading it. As I said in my last video, I was really looking forward to reading it again, but I was also knew I was going to be sad, and it really did. It broke me. It was so devastating. Neville's grandmother really ticks me off, honestly. Like, she gets so mad at him about everything, and like, doesn't even listen to him when he's like saying like, I'm not ashamed of my parents. Like, it's not easy to talk about the hard things that are going on in your life. And like, Neville doesn't really have close friends before this book. Like, who on earth would he talk to about this? Like, so like, it was really frustrating to see his grandmother treat him like that. But it was like so sweet, that scene too. Like, with how Neville just like was visiting with his parents, and the candy wrapper that his mother gave him, and that it happens repeatedly, and the grandmother told him to throw it away, but Harry notices him stick it in his pocket because Neville just cherishes any gift that comes from his mother, and I just think that is the sweetest thing, and it is so heartbreaking, but I love it, and it's one of my favorite things in this book, and it's one of the reasons that Neville is one of my favorite characters, because he's just so sweet. And as I said, like, he's so sweet, but he's also so strong. Like, he like Luna, is very, very strong in a gentle way. He is very strong in his convictions, but he does so in a gentle way. And I really, like, something, as I said, like, I relate to that. But my favorite part with Neville, and this is also with Luna, but, like, mostly Neville, and I'll explain the difference in a second, is the Department of Ministries. So both Neville and Luna go to the Department of Ministries because Harry was determined to save Sirius. They didn't know why. They didn't ask questions. They just went. They were like, okay, Harry says this is the right thing to do. Ron, Hermione, and Ginny all seem to agree with him. Let's go. So they went. So, like, I'm going to just, like, kind of say this exactly how I did in my review on Goodreads. So he's absolutely no idea what he's about to face. He goes anyway. He doesn't understand why they are going, but he goes anyway. He doesn't know that Sirius is Harry's godfather. He goes anyway. Those apply to him and Luna. But then beyond that, the things that just apply to Neville, he so continuously fights once he gets there. He doesn't give up when he gets fairly, like, badly injured. Like, if your nose is, like, broken and bleeding profusely, like, it is not easy to, like, function. Like, I've never experienced this, but I can only imagine. Like, I've had a pretty minor nosebleed, and, like, I was in the middle of doing homework, and I was freaked out. Like, I can only imagine, like, trying to fight with a broken, bleeding nose, and he just goes at it. And he continues to help Harry, but he also wants to help, like, everyone who's, like, injured. He wants to make sure that Ron is still alive. Like, he is so amazing. Like, just seeing how he wanted to stay by Harry's side and help them all. And that was just beautiful. And as I was reading this, I was thinking that if Neville didn't end up being the herbology professor, which I feel like is perfect for him, but if he wasn't, he would be a great healer. Because, like, he has the compassion and the determination to do that. And I think this chapter really demonstrates that. He just is very, very strong in what he wants or, like, what he knows is right. And he was very strong in helping Harry despite his injury. And that was beautiful and devastating. And just, I love that his parents are what drive him to defeat Voldemort. Like, that's beautiful. And also, just, like, at the end of the book, when Dumbledore and Harry are talking about how whether it was Harry or Neville, the prophecy, like, I just love that the prophecy could have been Neville. And, like, it just says so much about Neville that he is strong. And, like, if he was the chosen one, he totally could have beat Voldemort. Like, I have no doubt about this. Like, it might have taken longer. He might have struggled through things more. But, like, Neville is every bit as capable as Harry is. He definitely struggles, but, like, if you see him in the DA, when he really puts his mind to something, he does it, and he can get it done. And, yeah, I feel like I could make an entire video about a case for Neville Longbottom, because I know he's, like, the most underrated character in this entire series, except for maybe Ron. I'm not sure. Probably Neville is, though. But yeah, I just really appreciate him, and just this entire, like, every single scene with Neville in this book is so heartwarming and heartbreaking all at the same time. And I just love seeing how strong he is. And, like, loyalty is definitely, like, the defining character trait of Neville Longbottom. And loyalty is the character trait that I personally value above pretty much any other character trait. So seeing such a loyal, caring character is why I connect with him so much. And, like, honestly, if there was a real life solid Christian Neville Longbottom, I would want to marry him. I really would. Like, Neville is my fictional character crush. Like, he's the sweetest, and I just really appreciate him. So, yeah, I'm looking to see if there's any more. Oh, I want to talk about Sirius, of course. Oh, Sirius. So Sirius is one of my favorite adult characters in the Harry Potter series. Not quite as much as he was before I did my reread, because I'm just appreciating other characters so much more. But Sirius is still pretty high up there. Oh, there's another adult character I have to talk about. Anyway, so Sirius, throughout this book, you really see him struggle with how to treat Harry. Like, how much are Harry and James really all that similar? What are their differences? And just seeing how being trapped in Grimmauld Place is affecting him is really sad, and scary too, because like it definitely hinders his judgment. But like he really wants to help Harry, and I can only imagine how hard it is to want to help someone and not really be able to, because you are putting yourself and other people at risk by trying to help others. That would just be awful. I feel so bad for Sirius this entire book. And like back to the topic of Harry, when I was thinking about this book, it's just like Sirius is the only person that Harry doesn't treat like absolute crap in this book. And he gets pretty ticked off at Sirius at one point in this book too. I think that was in this one, or was it in the last one? Anyway, like he treats everyone else so poorly, and then it's like, oh, but Sirius is the greatest thing ever. And that I find it so frustrating that like he just does that. Like, why? I don't get it. Like, I get that Sirius had the connection to his father, and like you didn't really see him and Remus interact too much in this book, but like Remus has that connection with his father too, and like he just does not treat Remus at anywhere near to the level that he treats Sirius. And honestly, Remus is so much better of a role model than Sirius, and I love Sirius, I really do. Like I think that Sirius grew up a lot from when he was a kid, and I loved their conversation about when Harry looked back in Snape's memories. Yet again, I'm not going to try to pronounce the pensive. You see, I'm just not going to try to pronounce it again. Like, when he sees that memory, and he gets really conflicted about his father, and he's like, Sirius, I want to talk through this. And like Sirius and Lupin talking through that with him, I really appreciated that scene. I think that both Sirius and Remus handled it really well. It was like, okay, we did make mistakes, but like that doesn't mean we didn't grow. So I really appreciated that. So lastly, oops, I forgot how great McGonagall is in this book. And McGonagall might be my absolute favorite adult character in the Harry Potter series. She's definitely my favorite professor. She's so great. Like, her anger towards Umbridge and like her snark towards Umbridge, like the entire book, was so great. Like, she just doesn't want to take her crap. She like lets the students get away with more things to just get at Umbridge. Like, she knows this lady is evil and just is not taking it. And I really appreciate that so much. And my favorite scene with McGonagall, it's one of my favorite scenes in the entire book, is when they're talking about Harry's career options. And she and Umbridge just get so mad at each other that they get into a yelling match over Harry and whether or not he could be an Auror. Like, I loved that. And he's had top marks in Defense Against the Dark Arts. And I'm sure you'll do just fine, because that's really the Defense Against the Dark Arts is very important. Do you need a cough drop, Dolores? No, may I interrupt? I'm sure you can. Did you not see the note? I saw the note. As I was saying, you have always had very good marks in Defense Against the Dark Arts. Are you sure you don't need a cough drop, Dolores? Do you not understand the meaning of the note? Let me correct myself. Harry's had excellent marks in Defense Against the Dark Arts from any competent teacher. McGonagall, I love it. She's so funny. And just seeing her believing in Harry, because like you don't see that side of her much. You usually see the stern side of McGonagall, but when like the whole like really believing in Harry side comes out, it's so refreshing, and I just really appreciate McGonagall so much. And that was one of my favorite things about rereading this book too. So basically, I have a lot of feelings about Order of the Phoenix. Oh wait, that has been what I've said at the end or beginning of every single one of these videos. But I just am having so much fun rereading. As I said, I really did I wanted to read this faster than I was able to, but I did zip through it as much as I could. Yeah, this book is definitely up there. It's definitely one of my absolute favorite books of all time. But yeah, I'm just very much enjoying this reread. I really hope you enjoyed and that you stuck around for all of my thoughts. But yeah, I hope you have a very lovely day. Please check out my social media down in the description below, and I will see you soon with another video. Bye!